All right, I'm doing this video kind of quick and off the cuff. It's really not the best timing for me, but I felt it's pretty urgent to get out there with what's going on. Now, I'm sure everyone who watches my channel and anybody who would be seeing this has heard that there are apparently 9 senators, mostly Democrats and a few Republicans, in a conference this weekend negotiating on a gun control bill that can get bipartisan support. And apparently, Mitch McConnell gave the okay to Republicans to engage in these negotiations to essentially negotiate our rights away. And it makes me think about to what Ron Paul said, about bipartisanship in Washington in his book Liberty Defined. It seems like the only time that there's bipartisanship in Washington is when they work together to screw you out of your freedom and liberties and rights and take more of your money to gain more power for themselves. Now, he said it a little more eloquently than that, but you get the picture. However, there's one aspect I want to focus on this conference that you may not be aware of. I've been keeping an eye on it, and apparently, according to the news sites like The Hill and some others, Republican senators like Susan Collins, who are, I guess, just controlled opposition, said that the bill that has the best chance of making it out of the conference with bipartisan support and possibly passing is a red flag gun confiscation bill. Now, I'm sure I don't need to tell the people who watch my videos the dangers of red flag gun confiscation. We'll go over the highlights in a minute. But it's only been, 2-3 years since Gary Willis was murdered as a result of a red flag gun confiscation law? Red flag gun confiscation order against him? Surely we haven't forgot that, right? I mean, where police went banging on his door, like early in the morning when it was still dark out, he answered the door with a gun in his hand, ended up getting shot by police and killed. And then it came out in the news that, no, he wasn't really violent. He wasn't a threat to anybody. A family member went and got the red flag gun confiscation order as a result of a petty political argument over Thanksgiving dinner. And that's just one example of how red flag gun confiscation orders can be and will be abused in the states that have them. That's why we cannot let it get passed. I mean, how many of you out there watching might have some crazy relative, cousin, uncle, whoever, who's far left and who thinks you're mentally unstable simply because you own a firearm? These things are ripe for abuse. Or how about the Colorado police officer who was involved in a justified shooting? It was ruled justified and everything. And as a result of that, the family of the suspect got a red flag gun confiscation order against him. I mean, these things are I'm sure there's more examples than that of how they're ripe for abuse. I also think about Florida's number. They enacted red flag gun confiscation in 2018. And according to the news, there's been over 5,000 red flag gun confiscation orders executed in the state of Florida alone. Now, that number sounds a little off to me. I mean, you expect me to believe that in the state of Florida alone, there were 5,000 mass murderers or school shooters or what have you? I don't buy that. That tells me that the law is probably being applied pretty liberally, and that there's probably some instances where someone just made some off-the-cuff comment out of frustration in front of the wrong person, and next thing you know, they're losing their rights over it. It should be obvious these things are blatantly unconstitutional and a terrible idea. They violate your Second Amendment, but they also violate your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your home and your persons and effects, your Fifth Amendment right to due process, potentially your First Amendment right to free speech when you're targeted politically, because that is going to happen. That's essentially what happened with Gary Willis. So I know some of you may not agree with this, but it is important. Please call and write. Don't just write. Call to Gun Owners of America will tell you that it matters. They've heard from senators that it counts. And tell them absolutely not on red flag gun confiscation or any other form of gun control laws. We've had enough. Stop trying to negotiate our rights away. Stop trying to punish us for something we didn't do. It's unacceptable. And for the folks saying that, it doesn't matter and voting doesn't matter, I'll concede that, especially at the presidential level, the elections are rigged most of the time, and if not heavily manipulated, and there's not a lot you can do. However, when you get into Congress and Senate and then state races and lower, it matters a little more. They're a little, can be a little more honest. But if it didn't matter, right, they would have had this 10 years ago when they pushed so hard for it after Sandy Hook, or really before that, they've been pushing. So they would have had everything they wanted a long time ago. If voting didn't matter, if calling and writing your senators didn't matter, it would have already happened a long time ago. And that, I'm not saying to count on that. But to say we did it, right? Let's hope for the best and try, because it costs you nothing and it only takes a couple of minutes. And then prepare for the worst. There's no excuse not to do it, because if you're too lazy or too apathetic to pick up a phone or type on a keyboard or type on your phone, then you probably are too lazy or apathetic to do much else. And certainly not willing to do anything productive. So please do that. And if you haven't done so already, consider donating money to Gun Owners of America or the Firearms Policy Coalition. I just donated to Gun Owners of America a few days ago once this stuff started. And I'm a lifetime member of Gun Owners of America. But, I donated then. I plan on donating some more as things go on. And, it's sad that we have to do this, that we can't just be normal human beings and have empathy for people who've went through something terrible and very horrific. No one should have to lose a child. No one. I don't wish that on anybody. And it's sad that we can't focus on real solutions, because these parasites known as politicians want to exploit people's hurt and people's and tragedies like this so they can advance their own agenda of control. The key word of gun control. And it's disgusting. It really is. That mayor who said that to Beta Mel O'Rourke, he was spot on when he said, "You're a sick SOB." And he's right. And it's sad that we have to do this. But, you can't just sit there and let people go, "We're going to take your rights away and we're going to blame you for this thing that you had nothing to do with." You're not wrong for not going, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. If someone was going to hang you back in the day for a crime you didn't commit, you would speak out and go, "No, that wasn't me. Whatever they did was horrific, but don't punish me. Punish them." So let's remember, though, to say a prayer for those who lost loved ones, and for God to heal them. And let's focus on real solutions. And let's remember to have empathy for the people who did, even if they are letting these politicians manipulate their emotions. The root cause of the problem is the politicians and the other political parasites, the PACs, the Moms Demand Action people, those type of groups. Yeah, they're the problem. They're the evil people. Well, anyway, I hope this gets out to enough people. Just make sure you call and write, please. It's worth doing. And, when you do write them, tell them, if you're going to sit here and vote for something that just violates the Constitution in all kinds of ways, violates my rights in all kinds of ways, what's the point of voting for you? So you can campaign about how you'll lower gas prices after you get Joe Biden out of office? So you can campaign on repealing Obamacare just to not repeal it when you get a majority in the House and Senate and get a supposed Republican in the White House? Yeah, tell them that. They need to hear it. Thanks for watching.